Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Make Every Second Count Live with me, your host and international award-winning Make Every Second Count speaker, Jeff Marconette Jr. I'm so very honored to have you on here. This is the show where we try to help you deal with whatever you are dealing with so you can live your best life. Now, I bring you different guests every week. Well, or I try, I should say. And I ask you if you would please invite some people, tag as many people in the comments as you would like, and ask as many questions as you would like. Don't forget to give us all kinds of thumbs up, hearts, frowny faces, cry faces, angry faces. Just help us trick the algorithms on any of the social media platforms that I am on. So, with no further ado, I would like to bring to the stage Ray of Life Me. Hey Raymond, how are you doing?
Not bad. How about yourself, Jeff?
Oh, I am fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I just want to say hello to Kelly, who is watching. She is my friend from the gym.
Nice.
And then I would like to say hi to my dad. Hi to Sarah. Hi to Stephanie, and hi to Marcus. So we thank you guys so much for watching with us. But if you would like to take it away now, Ray, I'll let you introduce yourself. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, like who you are, what you do, and more importantly, why you do what you do.
Well, awesome that you would ask that question, Jeff. My name is Raymond Freitas, and who I am? Well, I'm a family man, 100%. I love my family to death. I love my wife. She is the reason why I become a better version of myself, which is what led to a mental health and spiritual transformation during, you know, lockdown. And that's
Hmm.
why I'm doing what I'm doing. And so I teach divine consciousness to couples in crisis points of their marriages, helping them communicate better, rediscover their purpose. Mission is to keep families together and keep families strong. One, because I never got to experience the whole family structure growing up because the divorce of my parents at age 5. And I've had to learn how to be successful in a marriage in just a very short amount of time. And what I've learned is if you come from divorced parents and you want to stay married, do the exact opposite they did, and you might actually become successful at marriage. And I worked on myself. I made peace with the past. I'm no longer worried about the future. Everything is in the now. The future will be revealed. And so I'm helping couples and families not make decisions off of their emotions. And the mission is keep your family intact.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. I would like to say hi to Roland Thompson, who is in the comments, and he's joining us from Washington State. So he's a pretty awesome guy. You should get to know him if you don't know him already. But so I happen to know from my own life experience. You see, I was in a severe car accident. I spent 2.5 months in a coma and 3.5 in the hospital. They told me that I wouldn't walk again, but here I am now. And I like to show others that they can do the same thing in their life. So I know that you have to grow through a lot of things
Mhm.
in life. Now, I say grow through because I don't believe we just go through things. I think we grow through things. Now, you mentioned divorce in there. Is there anything that you had to really grow through if just divorce is enough? But is there anything else that you have had to grow through in your life?
I've been diagnosed with 3 different mental disorders in my life.
Wow.
Schizophrenia, bipolar, and anxiety at different times. And I no longer experience many of those symptoms because of the work that I've done. I'm able to work a substitute teaching job with a high stimuli environment. I'm able to run a business. I'm able to be married. I'm able to make time for my dad and grandmother. I'm an only child. And I just take one step at a time, one approach. And that's for me, the more peaceful, more calm things are in my life, the better I feel. I think person in the mental health industry in this country is forgetting half, if not 70 to 80% of what really goes on with mental illness.
Yeah.
It's not always the brain, sometimes it's emotional and spiritual. And we have certain parts of the spine that gets impacted by life events. And for me, the divorce of my family dynamic has been the most challenging part of my life. And I do think that the divorce between trauma in the household, dealing with alcoholic parent, all of that has contributed to mental health challenges later on in life. And I decided, you know what? I got married to my wife. I'm not allowing these invisible enemies ruin my marriage or any of my business endeavors. So I continue to do energy work. I continue to read books. I continue to grow from these challenges and experiences.
That is great. Now, I know you mentioned schizophrenia and all kinds of things in there, and those are some extremely terrible diseases. And I have to ask, do any of those still affect you in any way?
Well, I would say I was diagnosed with schizophrenia, but later on, when I became a little bit older, I was re-diagnosed with a mood disorder and anxiety disorder. And what was explained to me in the process is that fit you don't fit the schizophrenia. You feel more of a guy that has a mood disorder, has anxiety disorder, highs and lows, mania, depression. And I said, maybe it doesn't matter what they diagnose you with. It shouldn't matter. It's just a
No.
diagnosis
Yeah.
at the end of the day. And it's all it is just a trauma response. It's like the military person that comes out of the military and he's diagnosed with PTSD. Well, he's experienced so much emotional trauma. That's just what they diagnose him with. That was what I was diagnosed with. I would say in the last 3.5 years, I've gotten what happens is when mental health gets wrapped up in your subconscious, you start thinking about it. You start thinking
Yeah.
like maybe I can't, maybe I won't, or maybe I will not. You start getting all these limiting beliefs about yourself. And I didn't want that to plague my career. I didn't want that to plague my marriage. I didn't want that to plague my business. So now I don't consider myself any of those things because you don't want to label yourself anything. You don't want to label yourself and give yourself an identity of someone just because you have something means that you can't. So you want to have that I can do this, but I do it in a cautious and careful approach so it doesn't hurt me.
That sounds so familiar because I remember when I had a handicap placard for my car
Mhm.
that I kept taking it out of my car and putting it in my house so I wouldn't use it. And my dad finally asked me, well, why don't you just leave that in the car and not use it if you really don't need it? But you can use it in some places where it is hard, where you have to park really far away. I told him no, I didn't want to because that was a crutch. That was a limiting belief. And it made me feel like I was handicapped, but I really wasn't handicapped. So, yeah, I think it was best that I didn't leave that in my car.
Right. Unless you're my grandmother and has mobility issues and can barely walk around and actually really could use it. But regardless, for me, I didn't want to use whatever I was diagnosed, whatever, and I went through a whole psychological breakdown in high school. I never wanted to use that as an excuse why I couldn't do something. I never wanted to use that as an excuse why I need extra time on a test, and I never used extra time on tests in college. It was available for me, but I never did because I knew there was going to be no, in the real world, there's no excuses. There are no, you need to make a living. You have to provide for your family. And it took me a while to figure out my mission in life, but you know what? I'm on the right path. And it took a whole year of me losing my job at the school district and getting full into the coaching industry. And I've been subbing and coaching ever since. And I'm glad I met you, Jeff, and I'm glad of all the people I've met in the process. It's really fulfilled me more, and these relationships and these talks, for me, fulfill me more than my business and what I help people with. Even though it's all the same, but meeting like-minded individuals that have gone through so many challenging times in their life shows I'm not the only one trying to inspire and motivate people to become the best version of themselves.
Yes, that is exactly correct. Now, I know that we called this show, although we are divided in our beliefs, we have more in common than you think. How exactly do you work in with that, and how exactly do you speak like on that topic?
Well, here's the thing is, are we divided politically? Yes, because we've always been divided politically.
Yeah.
That's not going to change. Have we been divided spiritually? Yes. That's not going to change. My religion is better than your religion. Well, my party's better than, whatever the case is. That's all human nature. We're always going to be divided on those issues. But where can what are we united on? Well, we both like the same sports teams. We both want to have a nice car. We all want to have a successful family. We all want to be successful in our careers. We're all striving for something bigger that's greater than us, that's going around in this world that we have no clue what even exists out there, but we're all trying to actually strive for this. And that's where I think we're more united than ever. It's just when we get to the middle point of discussing issues, we're divided on how to solve the problems.
So what do you think the answer is to solve all the problems, I guess?
Well, I don't think the answer is a macro. I don't think we could do it on a macro side of things, because the minute you actually solve one problem, it actually creates a whole nother problem for someone else. So I think really to solve the problems of America and the world, it has to start with the individual level and the grassroots area of things, and educating people that if you want change, you're not getting it from Washington or politically. You've got to change yourself. You've got to change your outlook on life. You've got to change that, hey, my life isn't so bad, and I'm not going to rely on a politician to improve my life. I'm going to improve my life. I'm going to change my life. And, the minute you keep relying on others to make changes for you, you're going to continue to be frustrated with things. And so if we take action in our life, we take action of what it is we need to improve. Hey, you don't like making $35,000 a year? Well, then look for a different job. And really get that growth mindset. I'm worthy and I'm more capable than making $35,000. I can make 100 because I know my worth.
Yeah. That really hits home because in my group called Make Every Second Count Mission on Facebook, I post something new every day. Well, I try to at least. And the last thing that I say in each of my posts is that remember you are in complete control of your life. And that means that you are also in control of your happiness. So stop relying on other people to make you happy. Take some responsibility and do it for yourself.
I agree 100%. And there's there's opportunity out there, and in fact, I think there's more opportunity now than there ever has been. It's just what happens is we get so sucked in this 9 to 5 months mindset. We get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, have to be at work at 8, and don't get home till 9 o'clock because of rush hour, whatever the case is. And we realize, and then we get in danger of losing our job. And then it's like, if you actually really believe in something, and I'm not saying don't quit. I'm not saying quit your job, but if you actually really love something and love what you do, really move up. Don't just stay at one level your entire life. Really move up. If you want to be in the corporate world, move up, challenge yourself. And so for me, my business, it's been challenging because I've had to go through my healing journey first. I've had to actually experience the transformation that my clients experience. I experienced that first, because how am I going to explain it to someone else if I haven't experienced it? And we're coaches, so we base our business off our life experiences and our knowledge. And my thing is, take control of your life. Don't rely on somebody else. Don't rely on a government. Don't rely. I mean, and that's my message to the world in a loving way. We've got to be better versions of ourselves, and we've got to open up the divinity within ourselves, along with the love and compassion and gratitude towards others. We love others, we love ourselves. It opens up doors that you never could imagine.
So I have to ask, what exactly do you mean by we have to open up the divinity within ourselves?
Every single person has a soul or an energy within themselves. You call it soul, some people call it energy, some people call it a mind, consciousness, whatever it is. But we all have a higher version of ourselves. We all have a higher version. And the goal is, if we open up the divinity within ourselves, what does that actually mean? Well, consciousness. That means striving for something better. That means being selfless, not selfish, and being loving, not egotistical. You want to get more on the godly side of things, kind of like someone, I don't know what the religious beliefs of this crowd is, but think about becoming as Christ became, or as Krishna became, or as the Buddha became in their life. Not how they started as children, but how they became in their lives, and then devoted their lives to others in a peaceful, calming way. And that's where I think opening up the human consciousness, which is the three-dimensional consciousness that everybody lives in, into more of a fifth dimensional consciousness where everything you do is in the best interest of others, your family, and yourself. But others and family and yourself all have to be balanced, self-care, and making time for you too. So yes, we make time for others, we make time for ourselves, and it's about balancing all of that. And so, how do we become like these spiritual leaders of the past became? And that's exactly what I teach.
That's awesome. So I need to say hello to a few other people. We have Mike Lento in the house. Thank you so much, Mike. We have Michael. It's villainous. Michael Villainous. I think. I'm not sure. I hope I didn't butcher your last name, Michael. We also have Ben Bruce Fane Jr. from Nigeria. So this is an international show now. We have Betty Peltier, who is like my second mother. And then we have Brenda Ringwood. And I want to also point out that Mike Lento said, "Congratulations, Raymond. Anyone that chooses to give back to kids and athletes is special. I appreciate you." So I just wanted to point that out to you. But so, do you have any tips for other people that are possibly dealing with something in their life?
Well, first, I want to respond to what Mike said. Yes, I do work in school districts, so I give back to the community. But right now, I'm trying to work with adults. So just, if you know anyone that needs help, let me know. Secondly, anyone needs tips, there are so many problems with the world. There are so many different challenges people face, and I think we can see, the last 3 years, what the crisis of mental health is in this country. My only tip is if you're really struggling with something in life, you know, take away this I could achieve it all, man. I don't need any help. It's okay asking for help. It's okay to ask. In fact, asking for help is a form of intelligence, and it's more on the emotional side of things. It's what makes us successful in our families. It's what makes us successful at our jobs. And we can't go through life all by ourselves. We all have to have mentors. We all have to have people we rely on to ask for help. Now, whether you use a family member or a friend you trust or even a professional, it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah. So, Ben Bruce said Ray is making a lot of sense. So I think he's liking it. But if anybody else is out there and you're liking this episode, if you're feeling what Raymond is telling us, put a 1 in the comments. Just a number 1. I'm just want to see who is feeling this conversation. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and ask them, because that helps me out as long as and the show. So, but so you said that it's okay to ask for help.
Yes.
Now, I believe it is Les Brown that says ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. And ask for help, and don't stop asking until you get that help. But there are a lot of people that ask for things in the form of help that just continuously ask and ask and ask. And I feel bad about telling people no at times, but what is the best way to put somebody on the correct path that is asking for your help?
I try to meet them where they're at in life. Where are you at? And if I've gone through a similar journey, I could probably help them figure something out. If I haven't, then I know a few people that may have. Then I would say, hey, well, I'll share an experience. I had someone reach out to me on my Facebook page needing help with their marriage. However, he lives in South Africa. It's a little bit of a too timely of a time difference for me to really help someone, but I knew someone that lived in Nigeria, and that's only a 2-hour time difference. I would say they probably are a little bit more comfortable with the culture
Yeah.
being in that continent. So I reached out to her and they made the connection. And so I think the goal is to find where they're at in life, what it is that they really want, what type of help do they want, and what they desire. And if I could be of that service, then yes, absolutely. As you can see, I went through a mental health and spiritual transformation, really, not really all on my own, but I guided myself through that, through therapy, through energy work, through Toastmasters, which personal professional development, through coaching and through personal development and reading books. I'm constantly working on myself. This is not a journey where you do for 6 months and then you stop. It has to be a consistent thing in our lives. If we're not consistent, nothing is going to be successful.
That's great advice. Consistency is so important, and if you want to accomplish anything in life, I think consistency is key to accomplishing that.
Yes.
So I have to ask, Ray, do you have any contact information, or would you like to tell anybody anything that you have coming up?
Well, my contact information, share it in the chat. Would that be okay?
Yeah, You can share it in the chat. You can share it on whatever you want.
You could reach out to my website at rayoflifeme.com or any of my social media channels, Facebook, Instagram at rayoflifeme. That'll take you to my IG page and my business page or rayoflifeme.com. You can see as a speaker, I do speak on family wellness and the role mental health plays on our lives and the importance of spirituality and being emotionally balanced. And I am an aspiring author. I just completed my first book. It is not
Great
published.
job.
Not published yet. I'm kind of being patient to see which way I take it. I don't about some of the self-publishing companies I'm not a big fan of, but that'll all come in due time. But right now the goal is to start saving families so that way their children do not have to go through life trying to figure things out all on their own like I did.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. So where would you suggest that somebody reaches out to? Is there something out there that is a good resource for everybody?
I don't think there's one resource that fits all. You have to understand what it is that you want. If it's marriage help and you're having behavior issues and you have an actual behavior issue, then you have to see a therapist. But if it's a specific, if you have a goal to achieve, if you're already a high achiever somewhere else and you're just struggling with family, then a coach can help you with that because obviously, hey, coaching is much different than therapy. It's about growth, doing the work, achieving results. And if you've had a therapist for 3, 4 years and you're looking for something different and you know it's probably not going to help your marriage, then a coach can help you and become another alternative to helping you with your marriage. And because I do spiritual guidance, which everybody kind of seems to be grabbing onto these days, that's why I'm here. I'm here to give you that spiritual guidance that you need for your family. That so many families are leaving organized traditions because we don't want to be told how to vote. We don't want to be told how to do this and how to do that. And so my spiritual education just helps you learn and how can we actually reach divinity in our lives right now? I don't care what someone did 2,000 years ago. How do we actually do this right now in 2023 in the world? Where can we go? What can we do? So that's what my program is really all about, is becoming more of a loving soul to others and to our families.
That is fantastic advice. I have to say, that is nothing short of superb advice. And I really just want to say thank you so much, Raymond, for joining us tonight. And guys, if you want to reach out to Raymond, I will put his website here on the screen. It is www.rayoflifeme.com. And I need everybody out there, including you, Ray, to do me a favor. This week, next week, and for the rest of your life, I need you to make every second count. Why? Because you never know when those seconds will run out on your one life. I'll see you guys back here next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you again, Ray. Have a fantastic night. And everybody, take care.
You as well.